YouTube? Let's find out. I will be momentarily. And let's share this on next gen. And there we go. And that is shared. Let me see how my volume sounds. Why does my volume not sound anything? Okay, here we go. Let me make sure this is up loud enough. Yep, my volume sounds good. Volume sounds good. All right. Let's give the masses a few minutes to pour in to hear my opinion on things that don't matter. And then we'll get rolling. Oh, man. Well, I see there's a new Spider-Man movie coming out. How many fucking Spider-Man movies are they going to make? Dude, it seems like there is either a new Spider-Man movie, a Batman movie, or Superman movie. When's the last time we've went 1 year without a Batman, a Spider-Man, or a Superman? Have we went a single year since 2002? I don't know if we have. You know. Yeah, good. It sounds audio sounds good on that end. Good. So, yeah, we'll see if a few more people want to jump on before I start blathering about dumb shit. Let me get my fucking notebook ready. I wrote down a couple topics. I had a few minutes before jumping on here, so I wrote down a few topics that we can go over. But did anybody see the 62.5% purple GC situation on next gen? It's kind of fucked up. Like, supposed to be produced by Nerd. I don't know of any time Nerd was producing any double visual situation like that of 62.5% Superdorf purple GCs. It's if somebody even said they were new, they bought it from somebody that said they got it from Nerd or something, and then the Nerd kind of like half-ass confirms it, and then but not really, because what was the breeding? You know, what was the breeding that made that? So I don't know. I honestly think at Nerd they'll just pretty much, if they think you want to hear something, that's what they're gonna fucking tell you. That is what they're gonna fucking tell you. So, but yeah, that sucks. That sucks that somebody now has that snake and they can't do what they wanted to do with it. So that's shitty. But um, a couple things I did want to go over. So I'll cross off the 62.5 purple GC situation since I've talked about that. Um, I think I'm gonna let go of another project. It depends if I hit on them this year or not. I think I'm gonna let go of all my Motleys, and I know I've talked about that, or at least meant to talk about it before, but I really think I'm just gonna go the tribal route. I have a lot of cool Motley shit, and to be honest, I think I'm gonna move it out after this year. Not because I don't want to work with it. It's just because I'd rather see other people work with it, and then I can work on something different. That like maybe it's not really getting worked on much. Um, but I might have a small clutch of 75% Motley Tiger turn 8 situations here, and then I think I have a half a clutch coming out at Ryan Conkey's house. Um, It's looking like his girl's gravid. So I don't know if I get some super ass crazy Motley 75% turn 8 Motley Tigers. I might keep working with it, but I mean, I do have the. I might, I have a Sunfire Motley Tiger Pos Head Indo turn 8. So if she proves out and I get something crazy out of her, like Indo wise, I might keep that. But outside of that, I think I'm pretty much shutting it down. I might try for some Halma Kalatoa Motley stuff this year, but that's going to be more so for stuff to sell. But I honestly think that moving forward, I'm going to be either completely out of Motleys or only only keeping like high percentage turn 8 stuff because unfortunately I do have Motley in my Indo Caramel Anthrax project because it's just how it happened. The snakes I got came with the Motley gene. So I'm actually in the process of breeding Motley out of that project. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I really like Motley, and I really like Motley Tiger with Aztec. I think that's a pretty good looking animal. So hopefully, hopefully we can somebody can keep that going. But I really would rather see fucking tribal with the Aztec, and Tiger. So you just I don't know. Aztec's just less work because it already has all the Philippine blood in it. Or if it's a Faluku tribal, it's already got Philippine and Ternate blood in it. So it's just less work for on the polygenic front. And Motley's so easy. You just breed it and you get it. So all the hard work on Motley is all the secondary traits. It's not like you have to do all this work for the morph itself. You have to do all this work to breed the other traits in. So, and tribal just already has so many of those traits already available. So I think I might let that go. I think Ryan's because my mail is out at Ryan's house. I think he's going to put it up for sale after, unless he wants to keep it. If anybody's interested, I might have a multi-proven breeder uh, Motley Tiger Ternate for sale. So we'll have to see. We'll see what happens and go from there. So yeah, so that's one project I think I am gonna cut ties with. Um, I really don't want to. I just don't want to keep trying to do all these fucking projects because I really don't think Motley's uh I don't want to do any like Motley whatchamacallit, like Motley Ocelot or anything like that. So I don't need to do like Motley OGS or Motley Phantoms. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough stuff that I want to do with Motley to warrant keeping Motley and Tribal. I just need to do it with one or the other. So, uh, and there's not enough people on here to mention it yet, but I'll come back to it. I'm working out a UK shipment. I'm hoping to be doing a UK shipment, but if more people jump on, we'll talk about that. Um, I did want to talk a little bit about sustainability in localities versus morphs. I definitely want to hear what you guys are thinking. Put it in the comments. Like, what are you thinking are some avenues we can go for sustainability on localities or morphs? Because it's the same question, but it's kind of two different questions because for sustainability for localities, that's trying to round up as many bloodlines as possible and keep them going. Whereas sustainability in morphs is trying to keep them from dropping so low in price that they're not worth producing. So it's really weird when you look at you ask the same question, one of sustainability, and it's two different, completely different situations. So I think with this the sustainability on the localities, I think we're finally in the right direction. You know, Karrampa will become completely, well, in theory, it'll become sustainable this year with how many Karrampa clutches got produced. So now it's sustainable. And the only drawback to that is that they're probably gonna lose some value because of the numbers that get produced. Um, so, I mean, there is that issue, but I don't think that's really. I don't think. I think Karrampa is going to drop back down to the price it should have been to begin with. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you think Karrampa. I mean, Garrett had them up at $10,000 a pair, which I estimated their value between 3,000 and 4,500 a pair. So, you know, I was less than half of what Garrett was charging people, and I think that's what they're going to drop down to. But I'll be curious to see what you guys think is something that something that's a fair price on something like a Karrampa. Hold on, I got a fucking message coming in. Okay, I gotta close that out. But yeah, no, I'll be real interested to see what people are thinking on that. And tomorrow, um, we're probably going to have some people jumping on for to show off some snakes. And I'm looking into getting a whatchamacallit, a some sort of acrylic setup that can keep the snake kind of wrangled when I have them up here, so I don't have to be chasing them around the whole time. So we're working on that. But I think tomorrow, I think Randy's going to come on. I think Chris Shar is going to come on. Um, who else? I think James Tossetti might come on and show off some boas. And I think there was one other person, but I can't think of who it is. So, and I might even bring up some Kaiwadi, some Kalatoas, show them off again. Which I do have. If anybody's interested, we do have F3 Kalatoas for sale, pretty decent high contrast. But oh, there's some podcasts coming up this week too. Um, what's going on for podcasts? I think Rob is tonight, and then I think Jake's putting out another episode on Retic Radio. I think Thursday. I think Thursday night. And Triple Threat's going to be doing something too. They do podcasts like every other day though. So be a good week for the podcasts. We got Rob tonight, and then Retic Radio I think Thursday night if I saw that correctly. So yeah, Jake just chimed in. Jake, who's on yours? Is it just you on Thursday, or who's coming on? This is the slowest live stream I've ever done. There's only 3 people watching right now. This is the slowest live stream I've ever done. The first time I ever did this had like 12 people. There must be somebody else must be doing a badass live stream about retics because I only got 3 people on. Oh, you're just doing that yourself? You don't got anyone coming on? Tell Dax to come on again. Hit up Weston and Paul. They like doing it. What's up, Kevin? Hey, Kevin, is James coming on tomorrow to do to show off some boas? Didn't he have some Corn Islands or something he wanted to show off? Wasn't that what we talked about? Oh, and Jake, I did get a bunch of pictures today of potential Aztec ocelots that Gabriel's claiming, but I guess we'll wait and see on that. I mean, if he hits on them, I am excited for him because I do think they'll look good. I just don't know sometimes of some of the stuff I see from him. Okay, yeah, but he has some boas, but he's unsure if he'll be off work by then. What the hell times he get done with work? I thought he worked from home. Yeah, I thought he worked from home. I don't know. I didn't. I thought I'd hear from James today, and I didn't. Oh, and I got to hit up Mills too, because I'm looking in. That was the other big thing I was wanted to talk about. UK shipment. If anybody's ever had any shipments sent over to the UK, let me know. I am looking for somebody who can help me out with that. No, he got promoted to manager. Okay. Yeah, I haven't talked to him much lately. I thought he was working at home. But yeah, I'm looking at getting if I hatch out Solas, I definitely want to send some Solas over, and I'd like to send Turnates and Haumas and possibly Mindanaos as well. So, if anybody's, do you think? Yeah, I was just getting before I jumped on, Kevin. I was going to send on the group text something to Mills because I know we had talked about that. But they're looking into it. The retic people are looking into it now over there to see if there's enough interest to put together enough of an order that shipping won't kill everybody. Because that's the part that sucks. If you just try to get two snakes and you got all this fucking money, you got 2 grand just in shipping, and that's not cool. So, but yeah, so I think Rob's podcast. Hold on, let me see what time Rob's podcast is. I think it is at 7, if I remember correctly. So I'm gonna tune into that. I think he's having somebody. I think his next one he's bringing on a guest, if I remember correctly. I don't know if it's a secret or not, so I'm not gonna say who it is. Oh, he's not on till 8. Rob's not on till 8 tonight. And Rob is going over why retic size is hard to predict and why dwarf blood matters. So I guess that's going to be a talk about size and polygenics and selective breeding, if I had to guess. So that should be pretty good. Um, but yeah, I'll. Yeah, though I did. Hold on, I wanted to go back to sustainability. My ADHD is getting me all over the place. But yeah, the sustainability on the locality stuff, like I was saying, it's really going to be about just keeping them going. Um, whereas morphs is about how to keep them just from completely losing all value. So I, I think it's going to be kind of difficult on some morph stuff to warrant producing it in the future, um, as the super dwarf and dwarf stuff becomes more available. I'm not sure if the single gene codoms in mainlands are really going to be financially viable as more stuff is getting, because everybody's starting to use localities for everything. So I'm honestly, I'm not sure if it's even going to be make any sense to do it at this point. Um, I mean, I just predict a tiger being 50, a mainland tiger being $50. I honestly do. I just don't see how. I don't see with how much. Let's take a look at tiger. There's going to be enough tigers getting produced in dwarf and super dwarf that their price is going to start to become significantly more affordable. So I don't think that a Sunfire, a Platinum, even a GC, a purple GC will always sell. Um, I don't think a lot of those, and I mean even to some extent, like the OGS. I mean that's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult, because I think they're down to 3. So once they hit 2, it's kind of like what's the point? And OGS by itself, um, just isn't pulling that much. Whereas like a Purple Sun OGS or something, that's a little different. So, but I'm sure people are gonna start trying to produce that kind of shit too in Superdorf. Lucas did that Solaire breeding, so they already got that started on the Dwarf side. I don't think Lucas is actually following through with that project. I think he dumped it all. So yeah, I don't think we have any podcasts from the Retic Lounge this week. So Well, yeah, we got what Rob and Jake, and then yeah, Jake, you might have some competition, man. I think Triple Threat's putting out a podcast that night too, so look out. But I don't know. Yeah, let me know what you guys think on some of this single gene mainland stuff. Let me know if you think it'll be. Let me know if you think if you think I'm right or if you think I'm wrong or what you think's gonna happen as prices just inevitably get pushed down by the Dorf and Superdorf production. It's kind of been I don't know. It's kind of sad in a way. You know, because Tiger, like something like a Tiger, has always sold. It's always, you know, it's always pulled at least $150. Usually even at shows. Um, I don't think we're going to do that anymore. Okay, about the Dwarf Berm he sold. Are you talking about Kevin or what? What Dwarf Berm? I wouldn't buy fucking Dwarf anything from Nerd. Let me tell you, because they've thrown that Dwarf label on so many different things. I'd be real hesitant to buy anything that was considered Dwarf from Kevin. Oh, I did get a small clutch of marble ternates today. That female, I decided to move her out. She's already sold. I think she is going to be a part of an Aztec, or no, I think she's going to be a part of an ocelot breeding. I'm not 100% sure. Oh yeah, yeah. What I saw that shit about CNB's Dwarf Berm situation. I didn't look into it too much. I don't know if he got bad information or what the hell happened there. I just saw that he got called out pretty hard and pretty quick on that. But something tells me Bill's the type of person that just believes the shit people tell him. I mean, i.e., fucking his friendship with Garrett. That might be EG, not IE. I don't know. I forget. From Kevin, I actually bought that Dwarf Berm with Bill from Brian Fontaine. Yeah, I don't know enough of the backstory on that whole Dwarf Berm situation. Well, here's the shady thing about Dwarf Berms that nobody's telling you. Not all berms that come from Indonesia are automatically Dwarf Berms. Berms, I think I can't remember if it's part of Java or Sumatra has them, and then Bali has them, and there might be some other islands in the Lesser Sundas. But the true Dwarf Berm comes from South Sulawesi, and that is Progshai. And Progshai has a totally different look. And I should have got them when I had the chance because they're awesome. Yeah, Progshais naturally look like, you know how the Het granite berms kind of have like a puzzle look to them? That's how all the Progshai just naturally look. Where it's a lot of the lesser Sunda berms, they have a much different look. They almost look like they have like a berm Indian cross type, you know, look to them. Not like 50-50, but like 25-75 or something like that. Bali supposedly has natural wild populations of albino berms. I don't know if it's true or not. Wolfgang told me that. He told me that a long time ago. I don't know if it's true or not. Um, he bought a female and I bought a male. I remember when you got it. I remember when you got that snake, Duran. I remember when you got that. There are some dwarf berms. There's some dwarf berm crosses floating around here in PA, but I don't know enough about them to really know anything. To be honest, I think it was Bob or somebody who had a clutch of berms, and I think they were out of Indo. But when I saw them, I was like, those don't look like Progshai. And I do believe the prog shies are actually really small, like 6, 8 feet. Like they don't get. I don't even know if they're really hitting 8 feet. I think they are in the southwest I can't remember if it's southwest or southeast part of Sula. I can't remember if they're over like near Kendari or if they're over by Makassar. I can't remember which little section of the island that it is. But they also have some really small monitors. And when I used to get importation papers, there was Sulawesi Dwarf King cobras. So I apparently the kings on some of the kings on Sula don't get very big either. But some of the Celebiensis waters, they don't get very big. They're like a 3 foot, 4 foot animal, and that's it. I mean, so it's just weird that like retics just fucking size wise just dominated everything. It seems like on big islands, the retics kind of take over as the top predator, and on the small islands, the water monitors take over on the as the top predator. I have no idea why that would be, but that does seem to be the case. So, yeah, on the Dorf Berm situation, was there any lineage, or was that just somebody threw a name on some shit? Hardly anybody's talking tonight. You all were chatty as fuck the last couple nights. Uh, I think you're referring to a different Berm, Duran. The one in question was sold on behalf of someone else. The story is I'm hearing is it was sold by Nixon Reptiles as a regular, but never got big. So the person selling it tracked it down. Okay. Yeah, and Bill would, Bill would take. He seems like the guy that he wouldn't even look into it if somebody told him something was a dwarf berm or something. He'd be like, okay, you know, it's like having somebody tell you some bullshit about a retic and just not doing a background check on it. Unfortunately, that's what happened to that dude that bought that 62.5 purple golden child that was supposedly produced by Nerd. I think I got asked about that snake a long time ago. I think somebody else. I think that snake had been floating around, and then I think I think that was the snake because I remember telling somebody like Kevin didn't they didn't produce any of this shit. Okay, he traded his male to Watkins. Oh, there you go. If Brian Watkins is part of this, I'm sure it'll get straightened out right away and won't turn into a giant disaster. That'll get straightened out right away. I'm sure. Yeah, Brian will come up with new rules and regulations for what qualifies as a dwarf berm. It'll be like how he fucking names bloodlines. That's what we need. That's what the berm community needs. They need little Brian Watkins action. How fantastic would that be if he got rid of his retics and just got into berms? That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we're going to know probably in the next day or two whether or not I'm getting a good clutch of Superdorf Anthraxes. She's real close to laying. Real close to laying. I have 3 females that are going to literally start laying any second. I got the Mindanao with the turn 8 Mindanao clutch, the Felucus. Then I have a pure F1, well, the wild caught turn 8 clutch, and then I have the Superdorf G back to Superdorf G back. I'm into berms. Don't wish that upon me. What you need a little. The berm community needs Brian Watkins in their life. The retic community's had him for a while. I think you guys need a little. We need a break. We need him to get some berms and just start talking to you guys or swearing at you guys, more correctly stated. I want to do pygmy line pure to dwarf berm and make parakeet eaters. There you go. I wish I would have got. Man, I had multiple opportunities to get fucking Prague Shy, and like an asshole, I didn't. Dude, if I would have got Prague Shy, had like bunch of not even a bunch, just a handful of pairs of them. I couldn't even like financially, you'd be making a ton of money if you were producing Prague Shy right now. You were able to start, dude. If you could start making dwarf fucking dwarf pieds, yeah. You bought a Timor python. Did it piss all over you? Did it piss all over you yet? Because they love that. It looked like mine were locked up yesterday. I couldn't tell for sure, but it really looked like they were locked up yesterday. And then the male came out of the hide and was all over the female before I came upstairs from cleaning. So I don't know. Maybe they'll lock up again. I want a clutch of those really bad. I've had that pair forever, and I used to have them a long time ago, and I sold them like an asshole. So hopefully, hopefully I get a clutch of those. And I want to clutch a Team Wars, one because I want to breed Team Wars and I like Team Wars and I want to get my own line going. But I'd really like to get some Team Wars hatched out for all the people that live in states that can't have retics. LOL, I was so mad at Bill. Traded the male to Watkins, the only guy I don't get along with in the industry. I didn't know there was anybody you didn't get along with in the industry, Duran. I find that hard to believe. You should call him. I'm going to do what you do to me and tell you that you need to get along with him. It'd be what's best for the industry, and you guys should start working together. Haven't picked it up yet. She's on Long Island. She's young, but she's been working with her. But he's been working with her. Yeah, as long as they're being worked with, you're good. Sometimes they have like a real strong retic like feeding response, and sometimes they're super shy. And when they're super shy, it's annoying. It's like trying to feed a fucking ball python. They just don't want to eat and they're afraid of food. It sucks. Yeah, because I have a goofy, almost anery looking thing coming from Andrew, for a team war, and then I got to track down a male, and then I'm good to go. That'll give me 2.2. Hopefully, I'll be able to start 2 new lines. Yeah, it's looking like I'm probably gonna hit on my fucking Peruvians this year too, which would be fantastic. What he kicked you out of his retic group, dude. You can't say anything to Brian Duran. Like, don't even try to. You can't reason with him. And it's not like when you can't reason with me. When you can't reason with me, it's just because I'm just like intentionally causing a problem, and I say that. With him, it's not like that. It's some kind of weird, crazy behavior that doesn't make any fucking sense. So, I still want to hear some people's opinions on how to create sustainability in morphs, and you guys aren't giving me nothing. We know how to create sustainability in localities, and that's to make pures, but not make too many of them. So what do you think? What do you think the reptile? What do you think the retic industry needs to do to offset the price drops that we're seeing, and start to stabilize them and keep them kind of sustainable at the same time? So what do you guys think needs to happen in terms of production to have them being sustainable, both for the continuation of production but also in price? I want to hear some opinions. You guys have not given me any opinions yet. What the fuck is this? Shooting for synchro variable. Oh, there you go. That's neat. And somebody needs to help me figure out how to get snakes to the UK. Because that's where I want to. If I could send, I'd love to send some stuff over there. I know I can pretty much set it up on their end. It's on the US end that I'm going to have trouble with. There's just so few people shipping over there. Really? No one has an opinion on how to offset the prices coming down on morphs. Come on, you're killing me. Somebody has to have a novel idea on something we can do. Because I'm actually a little bit worried at this point. I'm worried fucking Aztec's going to be $500 this year. And I don't think that's an irrational concern, considering it went from 17,000 to 2,500 overnight, basically. Okay, stop putting first two animals you bought together because most likely that breeding isn't going to move the hobby forward. Yeah. Well, I mean, it might. Well, I guess it depends on the breeding. But yeah, if you went out and bought two random ass pets, that doesn't move it forward. But something else that's not really moving it forward is a lot of these morph combos that older breeders are doing. They're doing a lot of shit that's just it's not yielding good results. And I honestly think some of the parts of sustainability is creating something there's actually a demand for. I think the thing that's killing prices more than anything is the quality of the production itself. Everyone quit breeding for 2 seasons. Man, how fantastic would that be? I would quit for 2 if I could produce enough to get through 2 seasons. I would gladly not breed for 2 seasons. That would be fantastic. No, I just don't think I just don't think the retic market's nearly as big as people like to think it is. I think that's some of an issue too. Hey Brian, I did not get a chance to figure out how to double stream to YouTube. I was working on that, then I got sidetracked I actually have kind of another online job. I was on the phone on a call with somebody about that, some other shit. But yeah, Brian's helping us figure out how me and Spencer can live stream through Riverside to separately to each our own YouTube channel. So there might be a way if I manually add the stream key and URL, but I don't know for sure. Don't know for sure. Oh, fuck. Yeah, where's everyone at tonight? Everyone's waiting for tomorrow night when there's going to be fucking snakes on. That's what's up. That is the issue. More work needs to be done to bring people in that just want pets. Okay, I think we got to be more careful about how much byproduct our breeding produces. Weston mentioned calling anything that wasn't what you were trying to produce in mainlands. Yeah, well, I think that works too if you're working a project. But there's a lot of people that throw shit together in hopes of getting that big ass clutch of just a bunch of random ass morph and morph combos, that aren't really trying to, they're just trying to make whatever morph combo it is. And that's the kind of thing. That's the thing that kind of worries me because every time more of a morph gets produced, it loses a little value unless there's some sort of selective breeding done that shows that there's a secondary value to a morph because of how easily, or not necessarily easily, but how you can improve it with a locality. So that's where I think we're going to see where Aztec goes, where it's going to drop down super low, but then it's going to turn around and the ones that were put into different localities and look awesome, I think they'll go for a decent amount of money. So, and I think it'll kind of simultaneously happen that some of the locality Aztec stuff ends up being like 25 to 5, while the straight mainland stuff ends up dropping to $500. Yeah. Oh, how many reticks are on Morph Market right now? Let's take a look at that. I'm fucking tired for some reason. Plus this light's in my fucking eyeballs. Hold on, we're gonna take a look. Fucking Morph Market. We're gonna see what the fuck's going on there. If I got a message. I need to start checking this more. Yeah, hold on. I got a message. Gotta check the message. Come on, you piece of shit. I fucking hate this fucking site. It's so fucking slow. Okay, this is a message for a Superdorf Graniteback. Would you consider ball python trades for the holdback pair? No, I would not consider your pet rocks. No, thanks. No, thank you. I do not want your pet rocks that are drastically losing value, way worse than anything else in reptiles, for a pair of almost breeder snakes that are going to make something awesome. I'm good. I'm not being a dick. They're just trying to get something they want, but there ain't no motherfucking way. Why can I never find anything on here? Okay, there it is. Dude, this is the fewest amount of reticks I've seen on Morph Market in a while. There is only 742. That's not bad. 742. And that number's, dude, then that number is going to go through the roof, though. That's the thing that sucks. Is, a bunch of, when that cow, that 100-egg cow clutch hatches, now we're at fucking 842. Sal's been producing a bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of fucking mainlands getting added to the list. That's for sure. What if people stop doing pos het breedings? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It depends on what the pos het. Also, like, here's the thing: a lot of pos hets prove out. A lot of 66ers prove out because there's a 2-to-1 odds there. So I mean, a lot of them they're 66ers. There's a 2 chances they are, 1 chance they aren't. So I used to pick up years ago. I used to always pick up 66ers because they were cheap and they would almost always fucking prove out. And there's usually, when you breed a het to a het, people know that it's typically 25% of the hatchlings get that. But you can actually get 50% visual out of a het-to-het breeding if everything lines up. And you can also get 0 visuals out of a het-to-het breeding if everything doesn't line up. And anytime you do a het-to-het breeding and you're looking at low numbers on visuals, like you're noticeably under that 25%, chances are those 66ers, a lot more of them actually got a gene. They just didn't get it from both sides. So, what is your opinion on 50% Sola het ocelot Jake made? I will say I think that was the worst breeding in the history of reticks, only because they used the female. Only because they used the female Sola. Genetically, for a polygenic standpoint, I thought it made sense. I just because I got a big fight with Jake and Shane somehow, and I don't know, I managed getting in a fight with everybody and like blowing up an entire retic Facebook group, and everyone thought it was a big mess. Anyways, and it was all because they used the female Sola. That was my whole issue with it, was because I've been getting kicked in the dick by my solas, and I know we're running out of time to have the last living, breeder female solas give us eggs. That was my issue with it. And it's obviously there's, his snake. He can fucking stick it in the freezer if he wants, but um I thought, I understand wanting to add solar traits to Ocelot. I do. I'm not going to pretend like, solas don't look amazing. But it was just how it was done. Like, I think a male sola to a female ocelot would have been a much better breeding. I think a Soleil or a Tambalongan would have been even better breeding than that. So just yeah, dude, they're fucking one way or another. Those solas are leaving. Just send me those solas, Rodney. I'll get it done. She is all blown up and she's in a shed. I get it done, but I have bad luck. Like 40 slugs, a clutch of 50 half bad eggs, and then I fucking ruin the rest in the fucking incubator. I'm just fucking crushing it. Absolutely crushing it on Solus. But whether or not I hit on them or not this year, I already made the decision that I am going to move them out. She needs a bigger cage. I used to have a bigger cage for her. It was a wooden cage, and then I got rid of them. I thought she was gone because I've tried to sell this pair of snakes like 30 times, and then they end up never leaving my house. So if for some reason I do need to, Weston, I did need to hit you up because if for some reason I do keep her, I want to get her a extremely large cage, and I was going to ask you about some of those bigger cages because I wanted to get her at least I want to get her a 12-footer if I was a keeper, or if I get babies and what I keep out of them, I want to do giant cages for them. So plus I need to order a python hook. For some reason I don't own one after only keeping pythons for 30 over 30 years, so I could probably invest in a legitimate python hook at some point, considering they're under $100. What about Craig's? Hold on, I have something like half in the way here. What about letting more lower end stuff go at shows or on Craigslist or on other apps so the prices on Morph Market stay high? Well, if you think about it, there's really not that many retics on Morph Market, like compared to ball pythons. Let's see how many there were. What did I say, 742 or 724? I don't know, whichever one. It's one of those. Let's take a look at how many ball pythons are on Morph Market. I'm going to say a few more than 700 and some. Yeah, there's only 30,774 ball pythons on Morph Market. That's it. Only only 30,000. So that means there's rough estimate 250,000 ball pythons for sale right now in the country. If you take into consideration all the ones that aren't on Morph Market, I mean, it's probably more like 500,000. So that's, yeah, fantastic. So I mean, there's really not that many retics, but the fact that they're not moving, that should tell you two things. One, there's not that many people looking to buy, especially the mainlands, because mainlands are going to be probably, out of that 740 or whatever, probably going to be about 600 of them. And two, nobody's buying a lot of that stuff as an investment type animal anymore. So a lot of that shit is considered strictly pets now. So I don't know. I know that, Weston's always been an advocate of calling. I've always recommended it. But there's still a lot of people that, like, I'll give you an example. Like Bob Clark, he's not going to call snakes. It's not happening. Jungle cages. I'm going to write that down. Thank you, Weston. That's not something Bob's going to do. There's people that operate in a, volume-based type breeding. So anybody who's not really selectively breeding are essentially operating on a volume basis. So, even suggesting calling to a lot of these people seems absurd, because even if they can get a $50 or $100, why would they? That's like, a lot of people look at that like, well, why would I throw $50 in the freezer? you know, and I mean, I look at it as, why would I produce a bunch of super low end retics that have no real potential for anything? So, what's the first breeding you would do with Mayray Ceram X Bali cross? That's going to depend on how much yellow there is, but I I would like to get the yellowhead gene with those genetics into some of the ternate morph crosses. Um, one thing I might do with them, which everybody's probably going to think is stupid, is I might take one of those and breed them to if I had a breeder Mindanao ternate, if I could do a Ceram Bali X Mindanao ternate, and then I had a quad, a quad locality like that with the yellowhead gene, the silver from the Bali, the black ticking from the Mindanao, um, the crazy back pattern genetics from the ternate. That's probably what I would do, because that would pretty much make like your ultimate outcrossing type animal, which I'm probably getting some of those off of Mason anyways. But you know, having those four localities put together into one snake, that's going to give you a lot of secondary gene opportunities for making stuff look better. So yeah. Yeah, because you could take one of those, breed it to anything, and you're pretty much guaranteed to improve. You know. Yeah, I actually think that's a good breeding. He originally was going to do a ternate tour, which I think would have been cool too because of the yellow head situation. But I also like this breeding. I think I meant to tell Mason, because I've been thinking about that breeding a lot more, um, and I think that breeding has, if he can get some back pattern traits a little heavier on the Ceram, because they have a little bit similar stuff to a lot of Halma ternate, because I mean they are Southern Malukus, um, and if he gets everything to line up great, he's going to have a screaming amounts of yellow, awesome yellow head, a pretty decent high back diamond count with some decently sharp back diamonds, some decent silver on the side, some really nice yellow outlining from the Bali. I mean, he has the potential to make some incredibly nice looking normals from that breeding. And I don't think people fully realize how nice some of those are going to look, and that's why I'm probably going to get some from them, just to have them to kind of add a little bit of stuff into what I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah, but I guarantee if I could get a Ceram Bali Mindanao ternate, if I made it, I guarantee those would look nice, and I can literally use them for anything. Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make like Swiss Army knife normals, you know. Because back from what I was talking about at the beginning that nobody wanted to chime in on, which was sustainability of morphs, uh, I think that's how we make them sustainable, is we keep pushing them forward. Those crosses are going to be incredible. Yeah, yeah, and the thing that everyone this is the problem, because of the yellowhead gene not expressing until later, everyone's going to be like, he's going to have to raise them all up to 4 foot before their colors truly come in, and people realize what they got there. I am interested to see if the yellowhead shit's compatible. Um, because it might be, it might not be. I think it will be, because I think lesser sundas are just basically a Saputrii, or not lesser sunda. I think Southern Malukus are basically just lesser sunda Saputrii crosses. So Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Mason's taken any deposits yet. I think he's probably going to wait till he gets a clutch before he even considers deposits. Yeah, Mason's podcast episode was good. Weston, you should go on Jake's podcast on I think Thursday. He's just him. He don't have anybody to go on with him. I told him to hit up you and Paul. You guys are professional podcasters now. How long does it take for those localities to hit 4 feet? If you feed the shit out of them, not very long at all. The only problem, here's the one thing I'll tell you about Ballies that most people don't know. They are assholes to get started. I have no idea why. Everything that I've ever bred that's had even a little bit of fucking Bally blood was pulling teeth getting it started. So it might take him a little bit to get everything feeding. Plus the fact that it's wild caught F1 blood, that's the part people need to key in on. Come on, Weston. Let's not set that bar too high. We don't want to get crazy now. I'm traveling that night, or I would. He needs to tell Paul to come on. Somebody can come on. Aubrey probably said I'm not allowed to go on, so I probably can't. But but yeah, then yeah, Rob shits tonight. I thought it was at 7. It's not till 6. So Weston, how's the colors looking on those 75/25s? The colors popping on them yet? Oh shit! What else have we got here? Yeah, I really need to find somebody that can export to the UK. Weston, let me know if you'd be interested in offering some of your stuff up to the UK as well, because they are interested in our locality stuff, which I think is crazy because they can get anything they want from the wild for pennies, but they would rather pay for F1 stuff. So yeah, I see. I know they look dark now, but I have a feeling that you're gonna get some lighter color bleed through as they age. I bet they get a little brighter. Maybe they might get a little bit of that yellow coming in around the pattern outlining. So I want to see Tribal Felucca X Sola or Tambo. Yeah, that'd be neat. You might almost, the Tambo is pretty rounded off, so you might get into a motley back pattern-ish. You might start getting some, but I mean the colors and all the potential for them will be pretty good. And it's looking like we're going to see Halma Kalatoas this year, so that'll be nice. I have one Felucca tribal female left. If one of the 16 people watching this wants to buy that, let me know. Yeah, because the Malaysians almost have similar shade of black as Ballies. Ballies have a super, super dark ass shade of black, and a lot of those Malaysians have that super ass dark black too. And that's another thing that I think Mason's breeding's gonna bring to the table is that fucking jet ass black, shiny, dark, look that the Ballies have. So I'm at almost an hour. If there's any other topics or any things you want to hit, let me know. I try to cut it off at an hour. The first half an hour was dead, dude. There was like 3 people watching, and then all of a sudden at like 30 or 40 minutes, 20 people jump on. So, but yeah, if any other topics you guys want to hit before I jump off here, let me know. If not, we'll be on tomorrow night. Weston, also, if you want to come on here and try to push them, I'm doing whatever Wednesdays. So anybody that wants to show off their collection or want to show off what they have available is welcome to jump on the stream and show their shit off. So let me know. I think we got 3 or 4 people jumping on tomorrow. I'm guessing they're not ready yet, but whenever they're ready, if you want to jump on and show them off, you can. So, but that's it. If no more questions, no more comments, I'm calling it. I'm going to go eat something. I got one of my boa litters. I'll buy a Felucca try. There you go. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Next Wednesday. Just remind me because I'll fucking forget. Um, but yeah, I'll mark you down because I think we got 3 or 4 people coming on tomorrow. So, but yeah, next Wednesday. I figure that'd be nice. Like, you know, nobody doing a retic podcast ever really gave other people an option to come on and sell their shit, and I don't really have that much shit to sell right now. So, you know, if I'm doing this, I might as well let other people sell their shit. I only have, what do I got here? I got some Kalatoas and I got some Feluccas, and I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else for sale right now. So, but all right. Thanks for jumping on and hanging out, everybody. And we'll be showing off some snakes for sale tomorrow. So catch you guys tomorrow.